equipment.
Welcome to the Imagine Cup 2010 here in Poland. It allows students from around the globe to channel their energy, their skills, their talent.
The Imagine Cup is the world's premier technology competition. It brings together students from around the world.
I want to welcome all of you to the worldwide finals of the Imagine Cup.
The magnitude of this event is absolutely huge. You have to remember that we're starting with more than 325,000 students around the world. And what that means is that almost every single country is having its own national event just to determine who are the best of the best that then get the chance to compete at the worldwide finals. We absolutely believe that these students are going to change the world moving forward. Most importantly, each one of them has stepped up to the challenge and thought about taking action. So their perseverance, their innovation, their creativity, their ability to tap into the social networks around the world to really light up their solutions, that's what's going to drive change.
What the judges saw was truly extraordinary.
The overall theme for the Imagine Cup is to imagine a world where technology solves some of the world's toughest problems. The overall inspiration was the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. We've got 4 major competitions that take place every single year: software design, embedded development, game design, and digital media. And each year we have a special focus on a wide range of extra technologies.
We have always felt like let's say a big family, the Imagine Cup family.
So maybe we're in the final!
We're in the final!
I'm inspired by all of you that have dedicated your time, your energy, your passion to make this world a better place.
It's about thinking about how do we harness the creativity and the innovation of this next generation of innovators. It's about coming together to solve some of the world's hardest problems with technology. That's good for all of us.
We like it here a lot because we can feel the impact from different cultures.
We're very excited that the Imagine Cup 2011 is going to be in the United States, in New York City, and it is going to be great.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here this afternoon. My name is Paul Lowe. I'm the marketing manager for technical audiences here at Microsoft New Zealand. I've been incredibly fortunate to have organized the Imagine Cup competition for the past 4 years. And also I've been really fortunate to be able to travel with Team One Peat, who you actually saw earlier this morning, to the worldwide finals in Warsaw just last month in July. So we spent about 7 days in Warsaw in Poland, and they competed with lots of teams, as you've seen through the video. And these guys were incredible. They were extremely committed, extremely passionate, and at the end of the day, you know, there were some tough times, there were some good times, there was lots of parties that happened, but these guys pulled through and pulled a 3rd place ranking out of the entire worldwide final. So I'm really impressed with these guys. So what we're going to talk about today are a couple of things. I want to give you a really quick rundown on what the competition is all about, what is the essence and what is the theme of the competition. And I'm going to pass on to Team One Peat to actually, for them to actually repeat the presentation they did at the Worldwide Finals in Warsaw. And then after that, I'm going to get the team as well as the mentors to share with us some of the experiences and what they actually took out of the competition, and to close off everything, to give you guys a little bit of information on what you need to do to get involved with the 2011 competition. So let's get started. So really quickly, the Imagine Cup competition. The theme every single year is to enable students all around the world to think about how can they utilize technology to solve the world's toughest problems. Obviously with these guys here, you know, they've grown up with technology, with all the different things that when we grew up we didn't have. And they've got really interesting ways of finding new solutions to problems that we've seen in the world. So it's guided, the competition is guided by the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. Things included are like how can we obviously reduce poverty, education, gender equality, a lot of those kind of themes. So how can we use technology to solve those tough problems? Now, how it works is that the competition works on just like the Olympics. So it's like the Olympics for software designers. How it works is that every single country around the world will have their own local finals, and we go through all the universities across the country to find the best of the best. We bring them all to one central place for a big finale, and then we choose the top team to represent New Zealand. So as I said, I've been fortunate to organize the competition since it started in 2007, and we've had 4 teams at the Worldwide Finals, and these guys did really well this year, obviously to make 3rd, and we're hoping that we can actually attract more students to get involved. Now, what is interesting for you guys sitting here is that the students obviously don't work on the projects on their own. They do have the support of an academic mentor, which they choose from their tertiary institute. But also we go out and actually recruit industry mentors, so people like yourselves, to give these guys an extra helping hand. Because these guys are obviously still very fresh, they're just about to graduate, and they require a lot of support to really kind of bounce ideas off. So you can provide a lot of kind of real industry experience, and of course, as we hear later on from the industry mentors, what they actually got out of it as well. All right, so that's really quickly what Imagine Cup is all about. So at the end of the presentation, I will share with you a little bit more detail about some of the key dates and the key takeaways if you want to get involved. But at this time, I'd like to hand over, so this is lots of photos from these guys. At this time, I'd like to hand over to Team 1Beep, to Vinny, Steve, Kayo, and Chanyu to do their presentation they did at the Worldwide Finals in July this year. Over to you guys.
All inventions start with an inspiration. Most are inspired by need. It's like they say, necessity is the mother of all inventions. But we didn't need to fly, did we? We didn't need to go to the moon. Some of the greatest inventions of our time come from a much greater inspiration, our imagination. Vitamai Astashmai Druzhanov, 1Beep, Z Novi Zelandia. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are Team 1Beep. And today, we would like to share our imagination with you. My name is Vinny. I'm the team captain. This is Steve Ward, Kyle Lakadia, and Chenyol Yu. We are all final year engineering students at the University of Auckland. As we start, please focus on that one child, one life. Half of the 2.4 billion children in the world are inadequately educated or receive no education at all. Imagine what the world, imagine what you can do to provide these children with the tools to improve their education and learning. Well, we're going to take you through what the world is doing, what we are doing, and what you can do. Well, the world has come up with the One Laptop Per Child, OLPC, and the Intel Classmate PC initiative. Cheap laptops which help in education of children in developing nations. They have deployed 2.6 million laptops. And recently, OLPC has promised to deploy 30 million laptops over the next 5 years. Now, the question you might have is why? Why give a laptop to a child who may have no electricity or even running water? Well, if you replace the word laptop with education, the answer becomes clear. You do not stop education until all the other challenges are solved: food, water, shelter. You do them at the same time, because education is the foundation to the other solutions. 2.6 million laptops and millions more to come. This sounds pretty good to me. So what is the problem here? Well, they have no connectivity. They cannot receive education curriculum, health information. They cannot update these devices. They are digitally disconnected. They don't have broadband, fiber to the door. They don't have these facilities. And that does not help in the education of these children.
So what is the solution? Well, the solution is the power of radio with the power of 1Beep. Because with the power of radio signals, we can transmit beep beep, beep beep, information to these devices in a way that is low cost, free, highly available, highly reliable, And what's more is it incurs no further infrastructure costs. Let's take a look in South America. What's already there? Well, between the OLPC and Intel Classmate PC programs, there has already been 1.2 million laptops already distributed. What's more is there is currently enough broadcasting stations throughout the continent to give coverage to even the most remote regions. Let's zoom in a little bit closer into Peru. Here, there has been 500,000 OLPC laptops deployed. But of these, 95% of them have no connectivity. So what's missing to connect these hundreds and thousands of laptops to the outside world? Quite simply, OneBeep software and a very simple, cheap audio cable. Remember, there is already the radio infrastructure to broadcast to these remote regions. Now let's have a look in a school. These laptops that have been deployed, they've got this built-in Wi-Fi, so they can talk to one another while they're in the classroom. They just can't talk to the outside world. And of these schools, pretty much every single one of them has a cheap radio. Therefore, they'll have all the ingredients to be able to connect to the outside world. The cheap radio, the cheap laptop, the audio cable, and OneBeep software. All we need to do is plug the cable into the laptop, plug it into the radio, then use radio waves to send educational and health material to these devices. So simple, yet so brilliant. Now imagine you're part of the Ministry of Education of Rwanda in the city of Kigali, and you want to distribute educational material to the remote village of Ramagana. Sure, you could send along a jeep with a package of information, but this is anything but practical. Using OneBeep solution, we can send educational material straight to the devices, whether they're in the classroom or at home. And what's more is we can send them to hundreds of other villages simultaneously. So let me show you how it works. A chosen file, which has been selected to send, is converted into audio using OneBeep Publisher. It is then played from any radio transmitter. It is received in the laptops via a cheap radio and converted back to the original document. It is then presented to the user in OneBeep Library. This is a fully functional prototype, and it only requires a powerful transmitter and a radio license to deploy the system. Now I'll show you a video demonstration of how our solution works.
With a little pause.
Hello, I'm Chanyeol Yu, and I will guide you through a demonstration of our system.
Here, we can see Dr. Bernard Gilliman, a teacher, creating a document which is intended to raise awareness about HIV. Any teacher, NGO, or a member from a Ministry of Education can create a document to be published.
Or they can select a pre-made tutorial from the OneBeep website.
Now that Dr. Gilliman has the file he'd like to send, he then uses OneBeep Publisher to convert the document into audio for sending. Once navigated to and selected, the contents of the chosen document are displayed in the preview window. When Dr. Gilliman is happy with the document, he simply clicks the Publish button and the process begins. The document is now broken down into its binary data, and using our own algorithm, it is mapped into an audio format which can be sent over any radio network. Once complete, the file can be saved and sent to a transmitting station all ready to be played.
At the broadcaster end, all that is needed is a way to play this audio file. Here you can see the broadcaster preparing the file which will be played over the FM or AM network.
We are now at the receiving end with Mayank. First, a standard radio is tuned to the correct frequency. Mayank then connects the radio to the laptop using a very cheap audio cable. The OneBeep software is started up and the receiving can begin. With the radio connected to the laptop, Mayank can use OneBeep receiver to time the recording of the transmitted audio file. The actual length of this particular audio is about 40 seconds. However, for error correction and time reasons, 5 minutes is allowed to ensure the document is received in its full original format. Once the file is finished downloading and converted to its original format, Mayank can open the document to see his new information received. The OneBeep library is automatically updated with the file as it's received and uses tags to allocate where in the library the document is to be saved. Since the document sent was educating about HIV awareness, it is found in the health section. Children can also search OneBeep library for whatever they might be looking for. The search function can be used to search through the titles of the files. And they can also search the contents inside the documents. For example, if a child would like to see a tutorial that they have previously received to hone their subtraction skills, they can easily go straight to and open the specific document. Simple, elegant, and easy to use.
Well, now I was hoping that Kayo and Chinyao could take you through a live demonstration. However, due to transit problems that we've been having with our equipment back from Poland, we won't be able to do that. So what I'll do is I'll pass you over and I'll see how they handle it.
Thank you, Steve. All right. So as Steve mentioned to you, all that is required currently to make our software a reality is is a radio license and a powerful transmitter to deploy the system. Currently for our testing, we're using just a small scale transmitter, which is basically any one you can find in a supermarket. This is basically just a small scale version of a real radio broadcasting station. And as you can see, it's a pretty old radio device. All that is required is a headphone input that will be used to connect the wire to the laptop input. So currently we are at a stage where we can transmit any digital file. And we can also select a subject tag, which will be used to categorize this file on the receiving end. So, if I could just show you the creation of the file using the OneBeep publisher. Who wrote this?
We didn't write it.
All right. So it just takes a few seconds. All that it does is it takes the digital data, because the computer does not know what file. It's basically just zeros and ones. So what it does is it creates a sound file, and now this sound file you can transmit over any radio station which can transmit sound. Chenny is going to take you through the receiving end.
Hi, I will explain about the receiving end. You may have seen in the video that you just needed to know the start of the transmission. But now the software can automatically capture the start of the transmission. When I press begin recording button here, it will wait for the valid transmission signal. When we play the audio from the transmitting end, the receiving end will automatically start the recording. After recording is done, it goes into analysis mode, in which it tries to locate and fix any errors if there is any. After receiving is done, you will see the name of the file here and the tag that is attached from the transmitting end. There will be numbers shown beside the tag, which will represent the number of errors that is found and fixed successfully.
Thank you, guys. Okay, now I'll take you through an overall system architecture. In the development of our solution, we have created a website using Microsoft Visual Studio, and we're currently considering expanding this and incorporating Microsoft Azure for hosting of the files in the cloud. There have also been multiple graphical user interfaces. These are both at the file transmitting end as well as at the receiving end. These have all been made using Microsoft Visual Studio and the C# programming language. Now here is a screenshot of the website, which is currently live and running at www.onebeep.org. Now before I pass you back to Vinny, here is a quote from Mr. Peter Casey, the Senior Radio Development Engineer from Radio Networks New Zealand. And he said this about OneBeep solution. The really good thing about the OneBeep solution is being able to breathe digital connectivity to these kids' devices using legacy analog AM radio. And what's more is he recognises that AM radio is available in every nation.
Well, we are at the point where we can transmit any digital file, be it software, Word files, PDF, any digital file. Last week we did before going to Poland, the week before going to Poland, we did a successful transmission of a software file. Now, with the help of Radio Networks New Zealand, we have done a field trial of over 250 kilometers from Auckland to Taumarunui. We drove down there. It was a 4-hour drive. And it was worth it. When we got there, all we heard was the most beautiful sound we've ever heard: beeps coming out of a radio. And that made the whole difference. That showed us that this concept actually works. Well, we knew before that, but that gave us encouragement. Well, Oxfam, a global charity, has this to say about our project.
I'm Jane Foster. I'm the Programme Director for Oxfam New Zealand. Oxfam works with a network of rural training centres in Vanuatu, providing much needed technical and vocational training to young people who live in very remote and inaccessible parts of the island nation of Vanuatu. One of the key ways that they use to communicate with the Rural Training Centres network is a rural email system based on VHF radio frequencies. We believe that the technological innovation that Team OneBeep have achieved would enable them to extend this rural email network, increasing communication, increasing access to educational materials in an affordable, low-cost way using really appropriate technology.
Walter Bender, the ex-president of OLPC and the co-founder of OLPC, has been very helpful. And after our discussions with him, this is what his response was about OneBeep. This concept will help enable OLPC deployments to piggyback on technology that's already in place. He goes on to recognize that learning is fundamental to addressing the numerous challenges the world is facing today. And OneBeep has the potential of providing a vital link to the learners. Our discussion with commercial companies to get their feedback was very successful. Kordia Network New Zealand, along with their sister company in Australia, control the biggest marine radio broadcasting network in the world. Here's what Anne Orford, the business manager of Kordia Network New Zealand, had to say. Team OneBeep's solution is truly innovative and will help in maximizing the potential of OLPC deployments throughout the developing world. We've had meetings with Honorable Mike Moore, the ex-Prime Minister and the former Director General of the World Trade Organization. He is currently the New Zealand Ambassador to the United States. This is to get his feedback and guidance. And this is what he had to say about this project. This concept is a game changer and can have a profound impact in the developing world. He has raised OneBeep's concept at the World Bank, and people are very interested. We have been offered to run a pilot program close to home in the Solomon Islands, and there are 5,000 OLPC laptop deployments. Here's what Mr. David Leeming, the technical advisor to the Solomon Islands Ministry of Education, had to say. We could use Team OneBeep's solution to transmit data from the Ministry of Education to all the schools in the country without the need for internet or expensive equipment. We are on to a real winner here. And add OneBeep to the OLPC schools and it's a miracle. We are examining different business models to deploy out our solution. But our highest priority is to get connectivity to these devices. We have examined 3 different models. OEM licensing to the manufacturer to incorporate our software from the manufacturing base, or we can license this technology to the OLPC and the Intel Classmate PC. Second is we can open source so that the worldwide community can take part in the development. And third is to license this technology to corporate sponsors, such as radio infrastructure companies like Motorola, Siemens, on the premise that they will keep the software free. And why would they do this? Well, to increase brand awareness and to win government contracts in countries which need the infrastructure. Essentially, it all comes down to one point. Does it really make a difference? Well, the response from people who are working in the field has been overwhelmingly positive. They've confirmed the impact and the feasibility of OneBeep solution. ex-president of ALPC, world's largest marine broadcasting radio company, former Director General of the World Trade Organization, and the technical advisor to Solomon Islands Ministry of Education. Now we have shown you what the world is doing. Created and deployed 2.6 million laptops and has promised to deploy millions more. What are we doing? Well, we are helping connect these devices. Through the power of One Beep, we can provide these children with the tools to improve their education and learning. We have the passion, the drive, and being engineers, the technical expertise to make this a reality. So what can you do? Well, you can help spread the word about our idea. If you know anybody who can help us in any way, partnerships to build partnership about content providers, or who can help give their insights or feedback about our project, please let them know about us. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, it's twitter.com/onebeep. And I would like to finish by saying on behalf of Team One Beep, thank you. Thank you to Microsoft for making Imagine Cup a possibility. Thank you to you all for being here. And thank you to our mentors, Mr. James Valentine, Dr. Nirmal Nair. They have made this journey special for us. We have learned so much from our mentors. And we would hope you guys take mentorship programs in the future as well. It's invaluable to us. And stay tuned till we make this imagination a reality. One child, one life, one beep. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much, Team One Beep. So at this stage, I just thought we'll take a couple minutes to get you guys to talk about some of your experience. Have you guys still got the microphone? So why don't we start with Chanyu, if you like to come forward here. Just tell us, what did you get out of the Imagine Cup experience, if you'd like to share with everyone?
Hello. I've been in engineering school for 4 years, and I have studied. And the things I learned from the engineering school was all in the paper. So the knowledge was all from the book, and I just needed to do some assignment that was just for academic stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
But however, in the Imagine Cup, I had the experience in making some stuff using the engineering knowledge to actually help other people outside. So it was a very good experience.
Cool. Steve, what about for yourself?
Well, I think it's been really interesting, the whole journey. I mean, it started about this time last year when Vinny came to me and asked if I'd like to join the team with them. It's a great thing, helping people with Millennium Goals and stuff. And I had no idea it was going to get this big. I mean, I started out, like last year I hated talking in front of people, and now I'm talking in front of you. And just lots of other things I've learnt, whether it's how businesses are run or how to network with people, or just so much that I've learned from this whole experience. It's been great.
So Kaya, what do you think? What was the one thing that you really got out of the mentors that were kind of helping you with the project?
Well, challenging ourselves to be better people, because they really pushed us to our limits, to really see that we could get much more out of ourselves, much more out of Imagine Cup. And I would like to mention Carlos from Microsoft, who helped us out a lot. I mean, we were fine with the academic side through Dr. Nirmal's help as well. We got a lot of help from James on our business side, but the presentations skills and networking, talking in front of people, I think that...
You stole my answer.
Yeah. This was really helpful.
Damn it.
Oh, don't worry, I'll ask you a different question. So tell us, what's next for Team One Beep, Vinny?
Well, I would like to thank Carlos as well. Not that I forgot him, I wanted to give him a special mention. Well, what's next is we've already been offered to do pilot programs in Solomon Islands. Another thing I want to point out with the Imagine Cup is it gives you the ability to network with people. Like when we were in Poland, we met with the Minister of Telecommunications in Portugal. There are 1.2 million laptops underneath them. And when we got back, he just sent me a mail. He's like, just send me a proposal. Let's do a field trial. And if I had sent him a mail from New Zealand saying, we've created this software, can you help us? I would have never got a reply. But because of Imagine Cup, it's given us a platform to talk to people and gives us the credibility. That it's not just something that we've created in our free time. It's something that can actually have a difference. It can actually make a difference. What was the original question? Yeah. So about the future of the project. Now, the future of the project is we plan to deploy it within a year. We have also entered the University of Auckland Business Challenge to raise awareness and get some business models prepared for this, because majority of the business models we had, they were tentative. We haven't paid that much attention to the business aspect of it, and that's really important if you want to take our idea from a lab to the real life. And that's what we're working on right now.
Fantastic. All right, so obviously the team, and also I talked about the fact that the mentors play such an important role. So at this stage, I'd like to welcome the academic mentor and industry mentor up onto the stage as well. Let's welcome them. All right, so let's start off with Dr. Nirmal Nair. So, Nirmal, if you can share with us what was some of the highlights of getting involved with the Imagine Cup competition?
Okay, I'm an academic, and they did start off by saying at universities you just do assignments and tests and things like that. We are responsible for that, but my experience has been at the keynote today. They started with what the future is all about. And I think they were talking about the future, and they introduced this. So we create the future. It might be old-fashioned. We just give them tests and so on and so forth. But you can see the difference. These guys have been, when they started out late last year, they were in their third year. It's almost been a year now. Within 8 weeks from now, they will be writing their exams and finishing off. So I think we are doing a good job. University of Auckland is doing a good job, so basically what we get out of it is not only me, but these have been supported by our department, Faculty of Engineering, and this is the first time I think there is a team from University of Auckland to this competition. So we gained a lot of exposure, and I think following the victory trip now, there is a lot of enthusiasm amongst a lot of my colleagues, and there are kind of 3 or 4 other categories, 4 categories, I guess, and I think, so personally we have got a lot, basically, and we are really proud of the products which we are, delivering to the industry. Maybe it's old-fashioned, it's still the exams and so on, but that's what I got out of this experience. Yeah.
All right, before I ask the next one, can I get you guys to all move forward?
Okay.
Yep, for the photos, for the cameras. All right. Just one other thing. So you talked about personally you got a lot out of the competition. Can you be a bit more specific and talk about, for personally, mentoring these teams? What did you actually get? How did it help you?
Mentoring was switching on the hat of an academic, having taught these guys, and then going through the journey to Poland specifically, and the first 5 days was pretty serious competition, but so to me personally, I get to know these people very closely, and they get to know me as well, and we did party as well, I guess. So
I think what he's trying to say is the trip is the best part.
So that was my experience, and I went back, to my university days, and I had a glimpse of the past and the idealism which I had at that time. So after so many years, you get kind of cynical about the whole exercise. So I was reminded of my university days, basically. So that's what I got out of it personally.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much, Nirmal. So Nirmal represents the Faculty of Engineering from the University of Auckland. And another mentor that Team 1Beep also was fortunate to have is Mr. James Valentine from Frond. So James, can you tell us what did you get? What was the key thing that you got of getting involved with the Imagine Cup competition?
Well, this is my second year as a mentor in the Imagine Cup. And I guess what I really enjoy about this opportunity to be a mentor is, during the normal day job, it's the world of IT in New Zealand, so billing system replacements, CRM upgrades, all that exciting stuff, which has its own challenges and interests. But I guess something like the Imagine Cup, it just opens up an opportunity to explore creativity, to get some more, so the enthusiasm and passion that we sometimes lack after days and days of meetings and getting nowhere with projects, to instead meet up with these guys and see the amount of progress they've made in such a short time, the innovation, the creativity, ideas sparking off each other to come up with new solutions, and then to actually, and I guess more importantly, to actually turn it into a concrete reality, to create a compelling presentation and to package it up in such a way that they can win over an audience. And I don't know if you've ever sat in a large room and just seen a sea of several hundred people just get captivated with an idea being presented to them. I think it just reinvigorates that interest in technology, and as I guess a technologist, that passion to actually try and bring some of that back into our everyday job to make that next meeting about upgrading whatever a much more exciting experience. So yeah, so it's been a great experience.
Cool. So last question for you, James, is obviously, you guys had the chance to travel to Warsaw, Poland. What's one single highlight from your experience in Poland?
Well, yeah, I guess the things I can talk about on the microphone would be, I guess, I mean, some of it was just the enjoyable stuff was actually sort of, I mean, once we were over in Poland, I was kind of the team gopher, making sure that the guys had what they needed. So it was just funny things like having to run out of the hotel and find a transmitter in a Polish electronics store because the old FM transmitter had broken down. It was racing across town in a taxi because Vinny had left his speech notes in the hotel room. Just things like that just sort of was just quite enjoyable, quite fun, and quite different. Being in a different city and really just sort of just feeling like you were part of a team. I guess I was like the physiotherapist for the All Blacks or something. I don't know what the analogy might be, but it was just good fun, really.
Cool. All right. Well, at this stage, does anybody else have any questions for these guys? I mean, if you guys are thinking of getting involved, any particular burning questions, whether it's about the experience with Imagine Cup or about their project idea or anything at all?
It's pretty self-explanatory, is it? Simple.
So what are the practicalities that go beyond sort of simple text files? If you want to translate.
Can you repeat?
Oh, yeah.
Software.
Yeah, we can translate.
Can you repeat the question, Vinny? Repeat the question.
So
obviously it's longer
yeah,
transmission time.
longer.
What are the problems around that?
Longer see, the question is, what's the problems related to when you transfer more than just a single text file? Well, the problems are there of error correction because these files are being transmitted over very long distances. And that's why we have chosen AM radio because usually it covers the whole country. Now the problem there is error data loss over there, and some error bits are in their data. So what we do is we have dedicated half of the bandwidth that's available to us to error correction. We can recover 25% of the data back from the file because we are using our own algorithms and some standard techniques and forward error correction. So we've incorporated a lot of stuff in here which can help keep the data accuracy high. So because our highest priority has been to get data integrity, because if the kid receives the book, they want the book to be there, not chapters missing. They do not care if they receive the book in 5 minutes or 1 hour. Speed has not been our priority, but now we are at a stage where we are working on increasing the speed. We are working at 1.5 kbps at the moment, but the practical speed I think we can get up to 4 to 5 kbps.
Cool. Any other questions at this stage? If not, then let's thank again to Team One Peep for their efforts. Thank you very much. All right, so just this last part, I just want to really quickly run through in less than 5 minutes what is 2020. This is for the year. Yep, we're in 2009. All right, anyway, so for the 2011 competition, what we're looking for, as I said, the Team One Beep is extremely passionate, committed. We're looking for people like that. We're looking for people who are innovators or who want to be entrepreneurs. At the same time, we're looking for mentors who can actually provide these students with the skill sets to really further develop themselves and help them reach their potential. And of course, if you want to get involved, there's a lot of competition involved. There's competition on presenting, getting the technologies ready. There's just a lot of tense, adrenaline kind of driven competition within the competition. And what will you get in return? For the students, it's pretty simple. By getting involved, they'll be recognized as the rising talent of the IT industry as well as the business world. These guys obviously have already proved that with things like the Business Entrepreneurship Challenge with Spark and obviously a recognition throughout the world. So, I didn't mention before, the fact that they got third place and $5,000 US in cash, that's great. But what the key thing they got out of the competition is the fact that they were able to network with so many other important people that can help them succeed and further develop their idea. So people from South America, people from Africa, to really further develop their idea. So that's really the key. What else will they get in return is really about working in a team. As I said, university is fantastic. At the same time, we are giving them that extra industry kind of work experience. and of course an opportunity to represent the Worldwide Finals, which will be held in New York City in 2011, the correct year this time. So software design. As I said, the theme is pretty simple. Imagine a world where technology solves the world's toughest problems. Just want to cover the highlights. There's going to be 3 local rounds. We're going to invite students from all across the country to submit a 2-page proposal about what their idea is. They don't have to be technical experts. We're just looking for ideas. We're just looking for the seeds to see if they have potential. If they're successful, we'll move them on and actually assign them with mentors and actually work on their project for between 3 to 4 months. That's when they actually will develop their project and make it into a real prototype. We're providing more career advancement opportunities to really help them get that industry connection. Of course, $20,000 worth of prize pool to be awarded, access to Imagine Cup Innovation Accelerator, and of course the chance to represent New Zealand in the Worldwide Finals. That's going to be in July. So both the industry mentor and academic mentor, if the team qualifies for the Worldwide Finals, you'll get an all expenses paid trip to New York City. And hopefully the experience will be better than the one that James had, as opposed to being the gopher. All right, so if you want to find out more information, please go to the website, imaginecup.co.nz. And also, I guess the best thing you guys can do is to go to the website to find out, exactly what dates there are. And at the same time, what you can do is to go to the online evaluation site to actually give these guys a rating and give them some feedback. Some of the feedback you thought about their presentation, because that will truly help them in getting to the next stage of their project idea. So with that, thank you very much for being here today, and hope you guys will see as many of you getting involved with the Imagine Cup 2011. Thank you very much.